predicting when Neuralink finally comes out, right? They're gonna make it fashionable. They're gonna try to make it fashionable first. And you know who they're gonna go to first? They're gonna find a rapper, they're gonna find an artist, they're gonna find somebody who has already sold their soul for money, fame, whatever. They're gonna get them to make it cool to have the Neuralink on them. Oh, look, I got the Neuralink. 86 million. 86 million bank accounts have been shut down in Vietnam for the refusal of biometric data. I don't know if this is going to be a podcast episode. Maybe it should. We're going to listen to this lady that I found on X. It's from the Daily Post. I think that's the name of her site. And she's going to explain it, and we're going to talk through it. We're going to talk about it.
To our last segment, another extremely disturbing thing happened just this past week. Vietnam deactivated 86 million bank accounts overnight. Individuals who failed to submit biometric data were immediately denied access to their money. Dr. Andrew Kaufman warns this is not speculation, this is applied state-level biometric enforcement. He says, don't assume this is too extreme to happen here. With the rollout of Real ID and advanced surveillance technologies, including systems linked to Palantir contracts under the current administration, the same methodology is entirely feasible in the United States.
So, what she said can be correct, right? And this is horrific. This is a horrific revelation that's happened, a dangerous precedent that I could say. This is the thing, right? Every human being that is in a first world country, especially a first world country, you are a great commodity, right? You are a great commodity. You are an asset to the current country, city, state, capital that you're from, that you're in, that you pay taxes, that you work, you use your body heat, you go to work 5 o'clock in the morning, you come back 3 o'clock in the morning, you pay your taxes, you go to the movies, you spend money. You are one of the most important assets to a first world country, right? So they want to protect their assets outside of you and you, whichever way they can. And control is the best way that they can. They need to control and be able to predict bad things from happening. In order to prevent bad things from happening, you should be able to predict it. If you can't predict it, if you can't use a Palantir, if you can't get your biometric data, if you can't track every cent, every crypto that goes out of your wallet, that makes the government scared of you. That makes the government anxious. They don't know. The fear of not knowing makes them anxious. With the climate that at the temperature that it's in right now, governments want to give incentive for control. They're gonna say, yo, we just want to protect you. We just want to protect you. We just want to make sure you're safe. Sounds familiar, right? Sounds like 9/11-esque, right? It sounds like a Trojan horse, right? thing with governments and politics and geopolitics. In order for them to experiment, in order for them to gain control, they have to serve you a reason that you can comply with. Serve you some fear, serve you some, yo, if you don't do this, this will happen. The people never say, yo, we don't care if you're gonna do that. We're not gonna do it. We all gonna stand together, and it is what it is. They know each and every one of y'all, each and every one of us, for the most part, we cannot stand not having control of our own money. Even if it's for a short period of time, we can't do that. We can't give them that type of control. Our egos, our sense of worth, self-worth when it comes to this society, our fear that the other person next to us ain't gonna stand tall and not comply so that we could get this movement through. We could stop total control. There's always the what if, there's always the pessimist in us that messes up the thing, messes up the movement, messes up our actual real power, which is there is a lot more of us than it is them. But they know, because they control the banking system, the assets, your comfort, your dopamine. You're gonna do whatever they want you to do. Let's go on with this story though. I want y'all to hear this.
Take a listen to his clip.
Why is Vietnam the testing ground for the new banking order? Well, recently, Vietnam imposed a requirement for a digital ID, including a biometric scan of everyone in order to have a bank account. And what they did to enforce this is they closed 86 million bank accounts and seized all of the assets in those accounts. So the owners of those accounts have no ability to do banking or access their funds because they chose not to sacrifice their privacy and submit to this biometric surveillance tracking mechanism. Well, this is not something that is going to stay in Vietnam. This is a test because if we look at, for example, what's going on with the European Central Bank and digital ID initiative in Europe, as well as the Real ID and the CBDC system FedNow being imposed in the United States, we can see that it is coming to us as well. So what are you going to do about it?
So apparently Vietnam has already denied. This is the first step. You denied it. You fought. You said it. You said, listen, we're not gonna go for it. I'm not giving you my biometric data. I'm not giving you my fingerprints, my facial data. I'm not gonna give that to you, man. I want my privacy. I care about my privacy. That was the first step. So y'all survived the first step. But the second step is, okay, we're gonna impose our will on you. We're gonna step on you. We're gonna put our foot on your neck. We're gonna put it right on top of your neck. And there is a time limit. There is a waiting period of how long we're gonna keep it on. Are you gonna survive that long? Or are we gonna wait 24 hours till you comply? Till we just say, oh, no, you guys got it, huh? Are we gonna wait 48 hours? Are we gonna wait 14 days? Are we gonna wait 30 days? How long can you wait? I'm gonna tell you a secret. We're gonna wait 6 months. Can you wait for 6 months to have to claim control of your bank account. It might not be that long, but depending on how important this data is to them, to the government, in the grand scheme of things, governments aren't looking at every year, every 2 years. They looking at the geometrics, the geometric, the geopolitics of things, the macro, not really the micro. The micro is every 4 years. The macro is every 20, 30, 50, 100 years. That's what they're looking at. They want eras. They want wide scale control. They want layers upon layers of protection for the big bills that they want to sign. Layers upon layers. So that next president, he can't really, or she can't really be able to dissect that and break it down and get rid of it, because they'll be like, yo, this bill is going to sit here for 10 years. This bill is going to sit here for 20. This bill is going to sit here for a generation. 2 presidents can't be able to do it. It's going to take the 3rd or the 4th. But by the 4th, their agenda has already seeped through. It has already planted seeds. It has already spread. It's normal now, right? It's normal that you have a social credit score. It's normal that your money is seen every time you transfer it, every time you send 1 penny somewhere. They know exactly the time, the place, who you sent it to, how many times, how much money you sent this person. You can't dodge taxes as much as you used to anymore. There's no such thing as money laundering, right? That's the Trojan horse. We're gonna say, yo, we want to stop money launderers, right? We want to stop them. You want to stop money launderers. What's in it for them besides that? Besides the money laundering thing, what's in it besides that? What's in it is control. If we tell you to take this shot, you better take the shot. If we tell you to take the shot, you better take the shot. Huh?
I want to take a moment to just read this top reply to that post from Dr. Kaufman, and just think about the logic of so many people. I don't know if this person's a real person or a bot, I'm not really sure, but just think about the logic of most people when these types of things come in. I live in Vietnam. There was a few months warning. You had to go to the bank and get your biometrics taken, essentially a photo. If you didn't do it, they locked your account. Okay, so we had a few months, so that's fine, because they told us, guys, like they gave us a warning. What's the big deal? It was unwelcome and annoying, but not difficult. I imagine those who didn't do it in time simply got their accounts locked until...
And this is the same thing that occurred during COVID. There was, who knows if this is a bot or not, right? Who knows? This could be a bot. You can't underestimate the lengths that these people will go to get you to do something. Because just like a herd of sheep, if we got a guy that says something on here with a lot of reactions and a lot of love and a lot of comments and a lot of retweets, and they sound like they're somebody who lives in Vietnam, they say it was unwelcome and annoying but not difficult. They gave us a few months warning. What's the big deal? They gave us a few months warning. What's the big deal? Right? You hear that? You read it, and in your head it sounds like, oh, it don't sound too bad, I guess. Everybody's thinking, most people are thinking 1 day away, 2 weeks away, maybe even a year away, right? That's seldom. These people aren't thinking that small. These people are thinking decades, centuries. They're trying to plant their chess pieces in a way where you will be in check everywhere you step. Everywhere you step, you will be in check. Right now, we still got freedoms. We are the last line of defense to whatever happens in the next century. We are the last line of defense. Real ID, cool. That's fine. When it comes to CBDC and Fed Now, that's the mark of the beast. That's the mark of the beast. Fed Now, it is what it is. Not Fed Now. Real ID, it is what it is. They got your identification already. They know you. They see you. Once they digitalize, make your money digital, that's it. And then the next mark of the beast after that is if they put a chip in your arm, right? Or a chip in your head. Or a chip anywhere inside your body that affects your chakras, your health, your that could read every vital, that knows what's wrong with you, that might even be able to get rid of you with a press of a button. Yo, I don't like what this guy just said, man. Yo, we got his chip. Yeah, we got his chip. Alright, what's wrong with him? He got a little heart problem. It ain't bad, but we could probably make it worse. Make it worse. Actually, he doesn't survive the night. Don't think it's too far-fetched that can't happen. Don't think it's too far-fetched. You got things like Neuralink on the horizon, sitting right in front of you. They told you what they doing. The Trojan horses. You got this guy in a wheelchair saying, yo, this helped me out so much. Oh my God. This helped me out so much. Right? This helped me out so much. I'm paralyzed. I can't use my hands or arms. I can't use the mouse, but I can use my mind to control the mouse. Oh my God, this is such a miracle. There's going to be more Trojan horses that's going to get you to lower your guard and tell them, you know what? You could put that chip on me. Matter of fact, I'm predicting when Neuralink finally comes out, right? They're going to make it fashionable. They're going to try to make it fashionable first. And you know who they're going to go to first? They're going to find a rapper. They're going to find an artist. They're going to find somebody who has already sold their soul for money, fame, whatever. They're going to get them to make it cool to have the Neuralink on them. Oh, look, I got the Neuralink. And it's iced out with diamonds. Oh my God. The Neuralink helps me write my raps. The Neuralink makes me cool. It makes me elite. When I got this Neuralink, I could go take an airport ride. I could go to any place I want for half off just because I got a Neuralink on. I did half off on every plane ticket. Automatic. Delta, Southwest. It don't matter. I'm automatically 50% off just because I got this. membership. This membership right here. Neuralink is gonna be a membership. Now, to how far that they're gonna take it, I don't know. But I want you to use your imagination. Go far as you can with your imagination. How far you think they're willing to take it? Shut down your bank account. One, you seeing that with Vietnam right now, right? What if they tell you you can't buy food no more? What if they tell you you can't buy a house no more? What if they tell you, matter of fact, don't even be a part of our society no more? You think they got the power to be like, okay, since nobody wants to take the Neuralink, none of y'all gonna be a part of the society? That's when you're gonna have to stand and fight for real. Not this bullshit no kings protest. Y'all wasn't hollering about no kings when they told you had to stay in your house for a year, 2 years during COVID. Nobody said the Biden was a king, right? When you spoke on COVID, when you spoke on certain communities, 1% of the communities, they didn't tell you that, yo, we're gonna censor you because we're kings. We're just gonna do it. Nobody said those were kings. They were trying to be kings. They were trying to be dictators, authoritarians. Nobody said that. Because y'all believe what the government told y'all. And then when this guy that isn't a politician comes in, and the people previously before him told y'all that he was a bad guy, all of y'all fell under that spell. COVID was supposed to wake y'all up. You failed that test. I'm one of the ones that passed. I was one of the ones that used to be just like you. Right? Well, let me finish this video. This $86 million bank account thing going on in Vietnam. Let me finish it. Go back to it. Let me see if she got something else.
Till they came in and got it done. That attitude right there is exactly what happened when the government here implemented Real ID earlier this year. Yes, this is annoying, but it's no big deal. That attitude is the attitude of most people whenever governments announce a new initiative of any sort. I have to go and do this now. It's inconvenient, but at least it'll be easier moving forward once I just get this done. How many people are complying with Real ID to travel domestically already in the US? The second paragraph of that comment, quote, I imagine those who didn't do it in time simply got their accounts locked until they came in and got it done, end quote. Oh, the banks at the behest of government imposed know your card.
People, she said, people had to fly back to Vietnam. You had to fly back. You might have been living, who knows what country you've been living in. Who knows what place you was vacationing at. Who knows what place you said, yo, I feel like sitting here for 6 months and I'll come back to Vietnam whenever. And then you get an email saying, yo, if we don't get your biometric data, you're not going to be able to access this account no more. This is a must. It's mandatory. You better do it. If you don't do it, this 100,000 that you got in this account, you ain't going to be able to access it. Matter of fact, it's going to be ours. Now, it's going to be our 100,000. It belongs to us. Huh? It belongs to us. It's not yours no more. It's not yours no more. Oh, nah. I've been saving up a year for that 100. Like, I'm trying to save up for this whatever. I'm trying to get this car. I'm trying to get this thing. Nah, I gotta go fly back to Vietnam. I gotta go get that done. You don't know what they're gonna do with your data. Data's being Stolen data's being leaked every day, every year, every month. Some company leaks data. You don't think giving out a few lawsuit money, some millions in lawsuit money is worth it after they sell your data? You don't think, yo, all right, it's 305 million because your data got stolen. You don't think they can afford that for the bigger picture? It's always about the bigger picture. That's what you don't understand. It's always about the bigger picture. And there's many bigger pictures. There's way more than one. Oh, in the grand scheme of things, the one big picture, if you was to point out which is the one that you'd be like, yo, Pat, yo, 8, if you could put it on the one single thing that these elites that we talk about, that we mystify, we turn them into gods and devils, what do you think is their ultimate goal? I would say control, but chaos is what's gonna bring forth that control. Complete chaos. Because with chaos, with especially a huge, significant amount of chaos, worldwide spread, a world spread chaos, a chaos so big that the world wants to find a savior. Who's gonna save them from this chaos that's happening? Who's gonna come up with the plan? Who's gonna be the man with the plan when this chaos ensues? The government plans on taking that spot. The government plans on being your messiah. Look, I don't believe every one thing that's perceived evil is 100% evil. There are good people, people with integrity, passion, righteousness in every system, especially the government. The government allows them in here and there. So don't think that because I say the government, that don't mean that the entire government is 100% evil. Best believe, if you don't recognize what the bigger picture is, when the government tells you to do something, you're not going to question it. You're just going to do it. You should always question it. You should always critically think about scenarios. Yo, what happens if this happens? Okay, yeah. Okay, so what do they get out of it? Always think about what do they get out of it. Especially when it comes to systems, capitalism, socialism. Socialism is probably the main goal of these governments, because through capitalism each individual can be rich. They can be just as wealthy as the most powerful billionaire if they work hard enough. Through socialism, that no longer exists. That American dream no longer exists. That you being so rich, so powerful, and really faith deciding a kingmaker. You're no longer able to become a kingmaker when it's socialism involved. The government has total control. The government taxes you out the wazoo. They feed you, they clothe you, they give you jobs, but you only gonna take home 40%. That's the ultimate goal of the government. If you're talking about the evil side, I don't know what the optimistic side looks like. Optimistic side is capitalism. The optimistic side is the government gets out your way when you're trying to get your money, you're trying to feed your family. They present opportunity and you're free to get it if you want to. When you got people that want control, it's a little different. You gotta beware of things like socialism. You gotta beware of things like PPP loans. You gotta beware of, yo, we need your biometric data. If you don't give it to us, we're gonna shut down your bank account. You understand? This thing is way deeper, but you refuse to think below the surface. The coral reef lies behind that surface water that you're seeing. There's a whole nother world down there that you're not thinking about. Huh? What you gonna do when they tell you, you better give me this part of you, or else you're not gonna be able to eat? What you gonna do? If we all do the same thing, if we all refuse, it's never gonna happen, because we're the asset. The people is the most important asset of every government. With AI coming, I don't know how it goes when it comes to spirituality. I don't know how much the government knows when it comes to spiritual. AI doesn't have spirits. We do. We got the spirits. We have that. So I know we're the number one commodity, even though AI is taking your jobs, right? We are still the number one commodity if they're looking at things spiritually, right? So what if the Neuralink is the way to link our spirits with AI to make the ultimate Frankenstein? And when you could make the Frankenstein, when you be able to control the body, the flesh, and the machine at the same time, they have no limit to where they can go. We haven't even tapped into what we was able to do back then, thousands of years ago. We haven't been able to tap in. We was able to move things with our minds. We was able to heal ourselves fast. We was able to live 900 to 1200 years. That was our base level life expectancy thousands upon thousands of years ago. We wasn't able to tap back into that. They're gonna find a way to get back to that. They're gonna find a way to utilize us, our souls, our spirits, our fragmented minds, make us fully realize ourselves, but we're no longer be in control. That's just my theory. I could be completely wrong. We're no longer going to be in control. They're going to be in control. They're going to have power, access to the ultimate power, access to the source. They could control, if they find a way to control our flesh with the machine, AI, Neuralink, your bank account, make superhumans that they can control, use our body heat. That's it. Game done. Chess game over. This is a chess game. Make sure you're seeing where the bishops are, the rooks are, and the queens. And they can move very far down that chessboard. The knights as well, but the knights could set audibles. They can make that L shape, right? Cool. But you just gotta get out of their way, or take them out. But the rooks, the queens, the knights, the rooks, the queens, and the bishops, they can move along that map far. Palantir, Neuralink, CBDC, those are the rooks, the bishops, and the queens of the chessboard. As a pawn, you gotta be smart. You gotta be very smart. Huh? Become a rook, become a bishop, become a king. have powerful chess pieces around you to protect you from the ultimate antagonist from winning, right? I don't think everybody in the government's evil. I left that plantation where they said, "Yo, you gotta vote this way, or you're not black," or any of that bullshit that they fed us. I combined my critical thinking skills. I read a lot, researched a lot, and I said, "Yo, what makes sense the most to me? This makes sense the most. You gotta pick." But that's all I gotta say about this whole thing. I'm not going. That's pretty much it about this Vietnam thing. We get it. We gotta beware. It is what it is. But thank you for tuning into another episode of Think Pieces and Conversations. I don't even know what I'm gonna name this episode. I'm gonna find out. I said a couple quotes. That's gonna stick. I said a couple things that's gonna stick as the name of this episode. But yo, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Check me out on every single podcast app. Check me out everywhere. Find me on every social media site, popular social media site. Follow my page. I'm out of here, man.